Hey, deserving listeners, this is part 2 in which I react to Ethan Klein's apology. But first, let's continue watching the background to the story.
I've been reading so much fucking AI stuff, deepfake music, deepfake art, and everything, and I just feel so embarrassing of me. But I was on fucking Pornhub, dude. I was on a fucking regular ass normal fucking website, and there was an ad. There's an ad on every fucking video, so I know other people must be clicking it because it's on every fucking video. And then I click it, and I'm fucking in this fucking rabbit hole, and at 2 a.m.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well regarding his apology when he's trying to say everyone else is everyone else is doing it. I know other people are doing it. God darn it, other people are doing it too. This video is labeled apology. He uploaded this video on Twitch, and it is labeled apology. He has yet to apologize.
I don't know. I got morbidly curious, and I clicked something, and I it's just fucking, it's gross. It's gross, and I'm sorry. I really am. I really fucking am. It's not, I don't know. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. But I just really want to get across. It's not like a fucking pattern of behavior. And I don't know what I want to say or not, but I just hate doing this on stream, man. This is not what my stream's about at all. I hate this drama stuff, but I just feel bad. And I saw some comments for people that are in my community that were talking, and they felt so let down, and it made me feel so fucking sick. So
yeah, as a content provider, I can not relate because I've never been in his shoes, but I've been sort of near his shoes, if you will. I haven't been in his shoes, but near his shoes, in that when I've made content that have hurt someone's feelings, and I've been a podcaster for over 14 years. Sometimes you'd make a mistake, and it doesn't make it okay, but that happens, and I can relate to that feeling of just like, oh my God. When you disappoint the internet, that's just going to happen. But when you disappoint the people that are, you feel like they're in your tribe, or they're in your inner circle. They think similarly to you, and to let them down, it's kind of like a reverse parasocial relationship.
No, I'm like joking a lot on this stream, but it does mean a lot to me. Like I put a lot of fucking time into it. I'm sorry. I'm just fucking sorry. I don't support this stuff. I don't believe this stuff. I'm not like a fucking advocate in any way. I regret it. I would never do it as long as I live. Like, as long as I live, I'll never do anything like this again.
Okay, good. This is like the kid with the hand in the cookie jar of, I was caught. I'm embarrassed. I know it was wrong. I'm so sorry. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Don't hate me is what this comes across. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, there should be half of this should be an actual apology. We're more than halfway through his video that's labeled apology. That's the title. And we've yet to hear what I would actually label an actual apology to the people that he harmed.
And I don't know. I'm just the most fucking vanilla. It's just too much information, but I'm the most fucking vanilla guy when it comes to anything. Like, we don't do sexual jokes on here.
My goodness. It just keeps going on and on. Like, if this was all at the end, then great. It's adding some detail, some explanation, but where is the apology?
I fucking Reddit, not safe for work gifts is 99% if I ever do any fucking porn. It's so weird to say, but I don't know. I just clicked the fucking link at 2 a.m. and the morals didn't catch up to me, and I'm sorry. I really fucking am.
Okay, this is getting to an explanation to an apology, which I think we're hearing now. If I were a little birdie on his shoulder, I would say, take a deep breath and fully identify the actual transgression, the harm that you caused. What did you do, and what was the harm? What emotions did you cause, and what experiences did you cause in another person? That's the harm. That's the transgression. That's what you did. That's the core of this whole thing. You did something that caused someone else to experience pain, fear, discomfort, something bad, mistreatment. You wronged someone else. Fully describe that. That's the foundation of every apology. That's what I would tell him to do. That might be in there somewhere. He might get to it. We haven't heard it yet.
I don't know if you have any. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's just deeply upsetting and extremely embarrassing. But I do believe Brandon in saying this is not a pattern of behavior. You know, he's pretty transparent with everything, keeping all his tabs open all the time. So I'm pretty privy to what he's up to.
Again, do people not understand what apology means? Maybe that's the problem. Like the internet or the world is operating on a completely different definition of what apology means. Yeah. And Brandon always clicks through paywalls, so that wasn't kind of like an obstacle for him. And when he assures... This is akin to you driving recklessly and running someone over, and then you get out of the car and the person's on the ground screaming, and you say, I don't normally do this. I usually drive really safe. I don't even have a ticket. I've never hit anyone before. Okay, thank you, but you ran me over. So are we going to address that? I'm glad you've never done this before. I'm glad this isn't a pattern of good for you.
Me that he'll never do anything like this again. I fully believe that. I'm just so sorry for everyone he's hurt by doing something like this. And like, don't feel bad for me. I'm not the victim. But I apologize for everyone he's hurt. And will continue to hurt when you did one thing like this.
It's interesting that his wife, his partner, is using more language that's in the direction of an actual apology, even though she's not the one apologizing. She's identifying the hurt. She's saying he has hurt people. The thing is as a content provider, I assume that he thought, at least for a time, before he turned on the cameras and started streaming, I would assume that he would have thought, I need to apologize. That's the whole point of this. I need to actually identify the transgression. Because the way it's coming across, it's like he's trying to figure out what he wants to say, and he keeps going to self-preservation talk, which again, I want to point out is fine if he apologizes first.
I feel like it's just pain, like right in my fucking gut, like I got punched, and I just hate that that's gonna be even associated with me, because I don't believe.
My God, I didn't know it would be this bad. It's just he starts out, I feel pain in my gut. I'm like, okay, this is maybe going in the right direction. And then if he had said something like, I feel pain for the harm that I have committed on other people, the mistreatment that I did to these other people. I feel their pain. You know, it's not, my pain isn't as bad as theirs, but that's not what he said. Let's rewind.
I feel like it's just pain, like right in my fucking gut, like I got punched, and I just hate that that's gonna be even associated with me.
That pain is fine. That pain is good. You should feel that pain. That's normal. That's commensurate with the situation. You have humiliated yourself. You have revealed something about yourself that is shameful. He said earlier that he's ashamed. You should be. Shame is people say shame is bad. No, shame is good. Shame is good. Shame is something that is important. We evolved it for a reason. We should feel ashamed when we have purposely and volitionally harmed another human being. If you purposely run someone over in your car and harm them, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should say, what is wrong with me? Now, you shouldn't take it so far that it negates the possibility of you growing or apologizing or reforming, but you should be ashamed. That's wrong. Now, the vast majority of things that we are ashamed of, we shouldn't be ashamed of it. People are ashamed of how they look. People are ashamed of how much money they don't have. They're ashamed of their job. They're ashamed of being a victim. They're ashamed of the color of their skin because of the way society has treated them. Those are things we should not be ashamed of. You should be ashamed when you commit a knowing act that will harm or possibly put another person at risk of harming that individual. It's good to feel, so he's feeling shame. That's good. But all of the talk in this apology video is around how he feels pain, how he feels ashamed, how he feels embarrassed, how he is wanting everyone to know this is not a pattern of behavior, and has nothing to do with the harm that he caused other people, with the emotions that he provoked in others, and the participation in an overall misogynistic, toxic masculine harm upon other human beings. He participated in it.
I don't know. There's no excuse. I really am sorry. And I guess most of all to the people in the community that just feel let down because you mean a lot to me. I don't know.
It's very disappointing.
It just sucks.
It's all about his fans. It could be argued this entire thing was centered around him trying to preserve his business. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but where's the actual apology to the individuals that you harmed?
I've been up all night thinking about it, and I wanted to talk and make sure you guys know from me, like, what the situation is, that it is fucking true.
I'll give him props for that. Certainly a lot of public figures would lie and say that it was something that was faked, or it was a random pop-up thing that they didn't voluntarily click on. He could claim it was photoshopped or whatever. We've seen that before. Public figures will do that all the time. So he's not doing that. I'll give him props for that. So far, I guess I would give him a C. He could bump it up to a B. Mainly, I would give him a C grade not because I would say this is a good apology or a passing grade apology, but because public apologies are terrible. I'm kind of grading him on a curve in a sense. So the elements that bump him up from a F or a D to a C is that he seems legitimately affected. He's not lying. He's coming clean. He's saying, I did it. He is providing some explanation. He is affected by this. He feels the weight of it, at least a portion of it. And he is saying he's sorry, and he seems sincere. But I don't know. I would just love to ask him. I would say, okay, you've been apologizing in this video. What wrong did you commit? A lot would hinge on his answer to that, because if he quickly identified, oh, yeah, well, I looked at this deepfake porn that involved people that did not consent to having those depictions made by them, and those individuals are harmed whenever anyone clicks on that. And I clicked on it and I looked at it. There's all sorts of things that he could say to that in terms of the harm that he committed against these women and women in general. But on the other hand, he might not have an answer to that. Okay, so if I ask him, what transgression did you commit? He might say, like, well, I did something that was wrong. I'll be, okay, well, what was that? What did you do that was wrong? Well, I did something that made people not like me very much. Or I can't imagine him saying something that rudimentary, but I could imagine him saying something along those lines. And then I would say, okay, then this is not an apology. You're saying you're sorry, but you're not actually apologizing, my friend. You feel sorrow for being caught, which is good. But I challenge you to extend yourself into the other person's shoes. And if you don't know what they feel, then ask them. And then you can feel bad about how you affected another human being.
That's it. And I guess I just hope if you've been here for a while that you can think back to some of the, consistent patterns of behavior that are against this kind of this.
Yeah, it's just more of it. I'm going to stop it here, and I'll get, because this is a rabbit hole I did not think I was going to go down.
Fucking internet. Fuck the constant exploitation and objectification of women. It's exhausting. Atrioc for showing it to thousands of people. Fuck the people DMing me pictures of myself from that website.
Cutie Cinderella is expressing her anger, which she deserves to express, and it's natural to be angry. I'm angry as well at this behavior, and she's upset not only at the industry, but at Atrioc and those who support him, and the general misogyny, mistreatment in our society that she has experienced in a variety of ways.
To look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually. They're not benefiting, they're not selling it, they're not platforming it themselves. If you are able to look at that, you are the problem. You see women as an object, and it should not be a part of my job to have to pay money to get this stuff taken down. It should not be part of my job to be harassed.
Yeah, all good points. And she is also saying that she's had to spend a lot of money for lawyers to go after these sites. Victims get victimized not only by the original victimizers, but by society and by our justice system often. Not always, but often. And it seems to be happening here with her. And financially, she's being victimized.
Pictures of me nude spread around. It should not be something that is found on the internet.
And with this also adding that she's going to try to go after the person who made this website.
I promise you, with every part of my soul, I'm going to
sue you.
And later adding on Twitter, the amount of body dysmorphia I've experienced since seeing those photos has ruined me. It's not as simple as just being violated. It's so much more than that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad she's angry. I'm glad she's going after these individuals, not only for her own sake, but for all the other victims who might not have the resources to do that, and for all the potential future victims. So she's a hero in that way, leading the charge.
So there's tons of backlash. A number of the women that were featured on that site speaking out. Well, we covered Atrioc's initial apology where he was speaking and his wife was crying behind him yesterday. He has also since released a written apology apologizing to the female streamers who were actually pictured in.
Okay, so Atrioc did provide some additional statements after his video. He says, again, it's titled Apology. You can't see the whole thing on this screen, but I'll just read it. It's called Apology. Hey, this statement is long overdue. My actions have taken me from someone I was proud of, trying to make a positive impact in my community, to a deepfake porn guy. The scar of that is felt deeply on my heart. Again, he is centering it on him. My actions have taken me from something I was proud of in terms of my career to now I'm just known as the deepfake porn guy. There's nothing wrong with Atrioc thinking about that and concerned with it and talking about it, but he is not the center of the pain and the negative effects. He committed a transgression on another person. That should be centered. I harmed another individual by doing something. Okay, so he's continuing down that self-centered point of view. Then he says, first and foremost, I want to specifically apologize to so-and-so and so-and-so. I think it's blacked out because they don't want to cause people to Google this deepfake product to protect the victims, right? Because it's not necessarily taken down yet, right? You were both in the screenshot that spread around the internet. Your names were dragged into it and you were sexualized against your will. You have both succeeded in this industry in spite of all the blatant, unfounded sexist attempts to hurt and assassinate your character in a male-dominated space. And now I'm another guy on that long list. Okay, so this is good. Identifying the transgression, and I was hoping he would say something along these lines. It's not that he did this to these individuals, but he's a part of a movement of misogyny and mistreatment of women in general, over sexualization, objectification, harm, victim blaming, and he contributed to that movement. It wasn't just an isolated thing. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner. I'm sorry my actions have led to further exploitation of you and your body, and I'm sorry your experience is not uncommon. Yeah, okay, so these individuals can determine whether or not they accept this apology or if they think it's legitimate or not, but this is better than his video that he made.
In his tab, saying your names were dragged into this and you were sexualized against your will, saying I'm sorry my actions have led to further exploitation of you and your body, also saying you wanted to correct the damage he caused. With that, noting that Cutie Cinderella, who was one of the streamers featured on that site, was able to get the site taken down after working with a law firm. And
then he says, in the short term, through the efforts of QT and Ryan Morrison's law firm, the website in question has already been taken down. That's great. I have spoken with Morrison and am working to cover the financial costs of the takedown as well as all legal fees for all women affected to use as services for removing their unwanted content from the web. Additionally, I'm engaging more law firms to continue to remove this content from other areas of the internet, such as Reddit. That's great. So that's part of the apology, to offer remedy. That's my seventh component of effective apologies. He is offering remedy, which shows a lot, right? It shows that you recognize what you did was wrong. It shows that you understand your responsibility in the matter, because when you're offering remedy like this, you're like, this is partly my fault. And so I need to make this right? I did this thing to you and I need to, in my small way, try to make up for it, kind of. I'll never be able to make up for it, but I need to try. And I don't know what to do here, but here's something that I can do, right? And research shows that when you offer a good enough remedy to a transgression, it definitely increases the chance that the apology will be received well, accepted, and possibly you will be forgiven. So it's good that he's doing this, and it's just that he's doing this. When I hear that, it's like, is he super rich? Because that could be a lot of money. He's willing to cover the financial costs of the takedown. So he's willing to give QT Cinderella all of the money that QT Cinderella spent to get it taken down. I don't know how much that is. Could be a lot. And then to also cover all the women affected all women like around the world who've been affected by this, or maybe it's just individual women that he is identifying. So yeah, but good for him. That's good.
Atrioc saying he's working with a law firm to figure out the cost of the legal fees for the women impacted. With Vice reporting that the creator of that website also issued an apology that read, "I feel like the total piece of shit I am. The best course of action I have understood is to wipe my part off the internet and help decrease the number of future videos of those involved. You will not see me pop up again."
Wow. So the individual who made the website to begin with says, to be honest, if I wanted to continue this, what I got was the best advertisement I could ever ask for. So they're saying, to be honest, I just got a lot of publicity, and so I could continue to do this. If you're a horrible human being, let's see. But after seeing the situation of that couple apologizing and a few streamers' reactions who thought I did not care, I feel like the total piece of crap that I am. The best course of action I have understood is to just wipe my part off the internet. So basically saying I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay, well, why'd you do it in the first place? Glad that you're not going to do it anymore. And we really need to pass legislation to put this to rest. Just, it's wrong, it's illegal. If you do this, there's a reason why revenge porn, at least from my knowledge, doesn't exist in nearly the degree that it did 10 years ago. There's a reason why. It's because it became illegal and there were consequences to individuals who engaged in that behavior.
But also, it's probably easy to be like, you know what, this is on me, I'm so sorry, after you've been threatened with a lawsuit. Which actually, regarding that, Cutie Cinderella spoke on it in a stream yesterday.
And I still plan on pressing legal charges. So I don't, it's nice that they deleted it, but I still plan on moving forward.
It's great. I mean, it's her choice, of course. She doesn't have to do that, but I stand behind that 100%. That's great. That makes me feel good that her and others are actually going after these individuals, because this is how legislation gets passed. This is how court precedent gets made, is that you go after these individuals and the individuals either have to pay a lot of money, maybe even serve time, hard to know, and that will scare other individuals in the future from doing this kind of thing in the future. So like I was saying in an earlier video, she's a hero in that she is standing up against this, because there's so much negative consequence you get when you stand up, particularly as a woman victim in situations like this, which I think she's identified that she has incurred, a lot of people attacking her. So she's a hero in my book along those lines, but she's continuing to be a hero by saying, okay, fine, they took it down, and okay, fine, my stuff is taken down, and okay, fine, someone's going to pay for that or offering to pay for that, okay, fine, but I'm going to take this MFer down. All right, well, let's end this part 2 here. And I didn't realize I'd be saying so much, so I apologize for that. But I don't know, there's a lot to say. And tune in next time when I continue reacting to this story. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.